Alrighty, hello everyone and welcome to my reaction to Twilight of the Gods. Last we saw Leif was stuck in the Vanir god's kingdom, let himself get trapped for no goddamn reason except for plot, I am guessing. Loki is there. He knows that Loki set them up and wanted to get rid of the Vanir gods at the same time. Sigrid and company have escaped. We don't know where they are. I'm pretty much okay with everyone's character journeys. Leif keeps going back and forth, and you know what? Flawed character. Everyone has flaws. I think this is where his show up. Crazy stuff. Can't really say a lot because, once again, that's good writing, but kind of frustrates me nonetheless. It's like, choose something, man. But I am not going to harp on more about it. I would love to see where we go from here and what that journey looks like. Are we going to get a more Leaf POV? Are we going to get a Secret POV? What POV are we getting? I don't know. Let's get started with episodes 5 and 6 of The Twilight of the Gods and see what this show has in store for us. Let's go.
My daughter. Give praise. She is perfect.
Okay, so we're getting Loki POV. Let's go. That must have been so scary for him as a father, though. Like, what? What's happening? That's my daughter. Is she dead? What's happening? But then when she comes back as quote unquote alive, he's like, give praise. She's perfect. Like, through all the flaws, I am going to love her as mine. And oh, shut up. That's so good. Thor, take some bloody lessons.
Fenrir, my son, come see your sister.
Yikes, I spoke too soon, didn't I? Thor, you don't need to take any lessons. Go back. You don't have to come here. Yikes, he's going to try to kill Hel. Ugh, I don't like it. Go back. Why does he has to be so annoying every single time he exists?
And this one will...
Oh god, I hate him so much. But did he... The girl that we've been seeing at the start of episode 3 and 4 is that Loki's daughter. Plans upon plans upon plans, layers upon layers upon layers. I don't like it though.
I am not here.
Being stuck to relive your most horrible and traumatic memories. Oh.
Loki.
He just saved you, kid. I get it, okay. But also at the same time, he just saved you.
You gave the gods a poisoned gift.
Loki, what do you mean? They just picked the apples? Got it here. How did he poison the apples unless it was you in there? And it most definitely was you in there. So you were the one who poisoned the apples. Don't shift the blame, kiddo. I like you, but not that much.
Odin sent him half dead and with half a head.
What is up with these gods? Why are you like this? Should they have cut Freya as well and given you half of her? But they wouldn't have done that. Freya did nothing wrong. So what did this guy do for you to have punished him so? Such annoyance.
Hörnir will woo you with woe and regret. He will offer absolution, but you cannot alter what's already done.
I love the theory behind that though. Like, you can't move forward until you have accepted your past. Only then can you take any steps forward, even if it is for revenge. And it would have been really nice and cool if it was Sigrid who had fallen here instead of Leaf. But I feel like Leaf falling here is important so that he can stop hesitating between the two options and actually stick to whatever he has to stick to, whatever he finally realizes and wants. Whichever one they are, and I feel like that's the angle to this particular episode. I liked his look of astonishment when he realized that she betrayed them because I feel like he genuinely cared for her. Ooh. He keeps falling or flying away, and I feel like it's his fate to fall and actually see whatever he needs to see.
You killed him then! You cannot save him now!
I like it though because regrets and what ifs drown you in a spiral. And you can't change the past no matter how much you want to. You have to accept it. If you try to keep changing it, you will keep falling away and not really recovering from it. You can't work towards a future or work in the present to work towards a future you want if you don't accept your past for what it was. And as awesome as I sound right now, time travel fix-its are my favorite type of fanfics ever. So, like, hey, guess I am made of contradictions too.
Our pack must grant you one fair boon. The oldest law demands it. With this, we honor fallen kin.
If it made sense to you, let me know down in the comments, because it didn't make a lot of sense to me. That hey, if you kill one of us, we will grant you a boon for it. Is it just from a perspective of, oh, you were strong enough to fell one of us, and so here you go, a blessing in disguise or whatever? Let me know, because I didn't quite get the reason behind that. Unless strength is all that matters to them, or they are potentially trying to give them like a cursed blessing, so whatever you ask for you get it, but you kind of, there are multiple repercussions of that particular boon. What's that thing called? The rabbit's foot? Something along those lines. You ask for something and something disastrous happens, you get what you want.
I am your shadow. The tempter on your shoulder. I am what possessed you.
While Loki is saying all of this, and it can be 101% true, I am not saying that it can't. I also feel like he's just making him angry so he snaps out of it. That's what it feels like, but I could be wrong.
And when Loki whispered, Leif, listen.
As much as I like it, I don't want it to be true, and there's a reason why. And it's not because I love Loki or I'm babysitting him or I'm like brushing aside his own actions and the actions that he took. Personally, for me, the reason why I don't like it is because I believe in the fact that we are the ones running our fate. Yes, we might be on a big ass chessboard and a lot of our actions are being like, we are being herded to make specific choices. I still believe in the fact that the choices we make are the choices we make because we decided to make them. And that's important. The devil on the shoulder whispering you to do wrong and you making that decision because you were pressured into it. And I'm not saying that there are not scenarios where you're pressured into making decisions which are bad. That does exist. But every choice you make is a choice you make, is what I prefer to look at. And so Leif is who he is because of the fact that he went through all of that war and destruction, and he realized that I much prefer the light and the relaxation of it all and building instead of destroying. If Loki is a huge part of why the destruction happened and continues to happen, it goes to show that none of his learnings were his own learnings. None of his choices were his own choices. And that's a really beautiful layer. I just don't like it. I would love for Leif to realize that the choices he made were the choices he chose to make.
The old laws, they did not call for silence.
See, that's what I meant. Like, why would you just do it for the sake of doing it, right? Like, there has to be some consequences of you having killed one of their brethren. And so they were like, we'll guide you and we'll guide them. Ooh, juicy, mama likey.
I would do this deed for you. You have a choice, my child.
I know this is all to show Leif why Loki is doing this, and so he's going to kind of understand where Loki is coming from and the need for his own revenge. And I love that because of that, we are getting to see Loki's backstory because of this. I don't really like the fact that Leif is the one who has to see this backstory. See Loki at his most vulnerable. I don't really know why. Fight me on it. I also get that once again, this is all to ensure that Leif joins Sigrid completely in the mission. So it's wonderful storytelling. I just really genuinely do not care for Leif. He's a good guy, okay? Gods above, he's a good guy, and outside of his passive aggressive comments, he has literally done no wrong that I can remember of. Right now in the present, I'm not talking about the past. But he still just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I genuinely have been calling for his death since the start of this show. I just don't really care for him.
Why? If this was your plan, then why do you need Sigrid?
I hate this, okay? Because Loki is literally going there like, I am going to see my child die, but I'm still going to see her. God. That was the reason why we saw that one clip of Loki standing on top of the rocks looking at Thor and the lady. Yeah, I don't like it. That's the reason why he wears the Ouroboros around his neck for his daughter. So good.
We are giants of Froston Mountain. From every Jotun kingdom, we heard the story.
Egil went around and shared their story so that he could send more warriors here. Whoever was like, yeah, you know what? I'ma fight the gods. Ooh, let's go, Egil. Every action has a consequence. And he's here. Even though he's going to die, he's here. Oh, Rahul Kohli, welcome back, my baby girl. Hello.
I am only what men have made me! You lied to me to keep me going.
Called it.
Those choices were my own. I only exist so men may blame me. So every grinning thief and glutton, every boy with his bed unmade, might have a scapegoat god.
Ooh, that was a wonderful fight sequence. Let's go. I love that it was Egil who helped Leaf up, especially after the flashbacks we saw. That was very important for him, I think. That was really cool story writing.
You did this.
On Odin's very orders. I am but a flint the All-Father strikes. I am fire and flame. I am Loki, the loathsome.
Once again, Loki just putting himself on the blame here, and Leaf is the only one who knows the truth. Ooh. Good storytelling. I am genuinely enjoying the show.
We all have claims against the Aesir. Let us revenge ourselves together.
I love that Loki did all of this. I don't even know if he did it on the orders of Odin or not, but I love that he did all of this, and it inadvertently made the group come closer together and bond together in their fight against the gods. Nice. Imagine one of the giants spitting, but instead of falling on the ground, it falls on one of the groups. I'd be like, dude, aim it right. And that brings us to the end of episode 5. Let's go. Really cool. I am genuinely enjoying the layers upon layers we are getting right now. Really cool storytelling. If you're enjoying this reaction as much as I am enjoying the show, please feel free to check out my Patreon, where you get early access to a lot of the content that I put on YouTube, alongside extended cuts, offset content. Plus you get to cheer me on, because why not? Cheer me on. I am awesome, you all. So spend some money on me so I can keep buying stuff and creating fun content for you guys to enjoy. Now without further ado, on to episode 6. Let's go. Hey yo, what happened to her tear tracks? There were 2 tear tracks on her cheek, right? Like, did they just vanish like scars do in this show? Because like, she definitely had a cut when she first fought with Leaf on Leaf's side in that battlefield, and then it just disappeared. So is that what happened to her as well? Crazy stuff.
If you eat these, you'll see much more besides.
Nothing helps a group bond better than drugs, I guess. So hey, I say that as if I've experienced said drugs.
Now, hear the fable.
Is that Odin? That looks like Odin. He's like, hey, I'ma check out the enemy camp, but I'ma do it in style.
But to salt the earth, to ruin the realms of his foes.
I like that, because you salt the earth to kill the earth, and he did that to the sea to make it into the ocean. Ooh, and destroyed his enemies at the same time. I like it from the storytelling perspective, the amount of damage he did to the ecosystem. Like, yes, the earth healed and we now have the ocean, but it must have been jarring for the ecosystem for a really long time. Ooh, crazy stuff. I like it. Crazy stuff nonetheless.
Who else has a giant's tail?
This is an 8-episode story. Are we getting a filler episode in this 8-episode story?
The sun, the moon, and Freya's hand in marriage.
Everyone's going around using Freya as a trade object. Like, she is a person? Like, you all ever ask her what she wants? It was stolen from the Vanir as a price of war. Yes, I will build you this amazing ass wall only if you give me Freya. Like, ask her?
And the gods learned that Loki was willing to fuck even himself if it was to his advantage.
While the story is funny, oh my god, ugh, I don't like it. They were like, okay, we'll get whatever we want and we won't pay the price for it. Loki had a lot of plans way ahead of time. He knew that this would potentially happen. As someone who has giant's blood, I am pretty sure he figured that the man who had come to build the wall had giant's blood in him too. That's why he was able to build the wall so quickly. So I feel like there are multiple layers and he's aware of all those layers and he's planning like 10 steps, 20 steps ahead, and no one realizes that.
I'm begging you, please, stop!
It's a healing cup. The runes will help you.
That was so unnecessary of them. Why did they hit him so hard? Odric's going to die, isn't he? Eagle is going to try to feed him from the cup, but it is going to fail. Why are we getting trauma building episodes and stories? Why?
The law speakers say a man may fuck another in conquest, but not in love. And scorn come to him who's taken.
What a lose-lose situation. Ugh. Never have I ever seen people take drugs before the main battle just for the sake of it. I mean, hey, if it helps you, the worst that can happen is you'll go on a bad trip, but you'll feel better in the morning after you've puked your guts out, I guess. Once again, I have zero idea how people react to after drug scenarios. Crazy nonsense nonetheless. All three of them are going to have sex. Let it be known, none of my theories this episode have been right. I want this one to be is all I am saying.
You built me a chair.
I built you a throne.
She knew then, the moment her feet touched the ground. She was home.
He's so cute, okay. He heard the fact that, every time she sat on a chair, her feet wouldn't touch the ground. So he built her a chair. I don't know why I don't like him, okay. Logically speaking, I should like him. I do not. It's not even like I hate him or I dislike his very presence. It's just that I see him and I just go, okay, whatever. I don't know.
Tell me your name.
Aule.
Aule.
Would you like a story of your own?
Yes.
I'm the Lord of Stories.
Odin.
They dealt death, but then they died.
Guess 2 of my theories were right. Let's go. Still crazy that they put a filler episode, okay? In an 8-episode show. I see the intent behind it. It's to show us relaxation. It's to give us a breather before we go into episode 7 and 8, which are going to be, I feel like, war. And so they needed to give us a breather, especially if people are binge watching the show. You need a place to before you go on. But also it could have been like a 5-minute part to the whole story as opposed to an entire episode. So crazy stuff. I kind of figured it was Odin. Also, he's kind of essentially saying that, hey, they might have sank the ship, but they died nonetheless. And so he's essentially warning her that if you continue on this battle, you will win. You will get what you want, but you will die as well. And so will those alongside you. And so will potentially Loki. So it's a warning before battle. They've come this far. I don't think they're going to stop now, especially Sigrid. Fun 2 episodes, especially the previous episode I genuinely liked. This episode was kind of like, I get it, but all that said and done, I shall see you in 7 and 8, where I hope that we see a good landing and a good ending to the show. I hope that they don't fumble with the landing because I'm genuinely enjoying it so far. Especially the scapegoated god was really good. So I genuinely hope that we get a good 7 and 8 and a good finale and a good wrap to this show. I shall see you there and see how this show ends. But let me know down in the comments what you thought about these 2 episodes. Did you enjoy the fact that there is a filler episode or did you not? Did you think that it could have been like a 5-minute part of the episode as opposed to a full episode or not? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what parts of my reaction you enjoyed the most and I shall see you next time. Until then, bye bye. Take care. Toodaloo.